Have you ever chosen a business because it looks so easy to start? So you saw easy, you saw low startup costs, you're like, sign me up. I hated leaving my house and being away from my kids. Like, that ain't my vibe. I tried, didn't work, big flop. It was exhausting. It even started to take a toll on my relationship. Why does this keep happening to me? Like, I keep starting businesses, they go nowhere. ChatGPT suggested this. Okay, I'm gonna do that. When something is easy for you to start, guess what, guys? It's also easier for everyone else to start. You are now entering a space that's already a little bit crowded. It starts to feel like a lot of effort for very, very little return. Hello, everyone. So, got a question for you tonight. Have you ever felt excited about a business idea only to lose momentum, a few weeks, couple months later, and wonder what went wrong? Have you ever thought that before? Like, you really, really thought that this one's going to be different, but somehow you ended up right back where you started. So yeah, let me show you what we're going to talk about today, because I have a feeling that this is going to hit home for a lot of you. So here's the 3 things we're going to talk about. So number 1, we're going to talk about why some of the easy to start businesses that you might be seeing everywhere right now, they might actually be setting you up for frustration. The second point we're going to be talking about is showing you what's really missing for most women when they're trying to start, and why things start off strong but don't last. And then the third thing we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to break down why some businesses feel like a constant uphill battle, and we're going to also discuss what actually needs to be different if you really want something to be long-term. So by the end of our little chat, things are really going to click for you in a way that maybe they haven't clicked for you before. So if we have never met before, my name is Carrie. I've been in the rental industry since 2007. And over the past few years, I've coached over 125 women to launch their own moving box rental businesses in their own community. But before all of that, before I tried my own moving box business, I definitely have tried businesses that did not work. They flopped. And I know how frustrating that can be. Absolutely. If you are enjoying my free trainings that I do every week, make sure you give this video a love or a like. I really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to share something with you now, because I have been exactly where you might be. My very first business back in the day, young Carrie, no wrinkle Carrie. It was a franchise, believe it or not. So I thought, okay, if I invest a lot of money into something like proven, right? It's a proven business model, has to work, right? What I didn't realize at the time was that it wasn't the right fit. And let me explain. It was a pizza restaurant. Who doesn't love pizza? Like, everyone loves pizza, right? It was, the problem was it was in a very, very small town, like extremely small. It was mostly seniors. It was a very old town. So not the right demographic. And also, honestly, as well, it's kind of a dying franchise, right? I didn't make a dime. After I did it for a full year and a half or so, I didn't make any money. All the money I made just went to pay for expenses. It was really tough times. So by the end of my term, I was completely broke. It was one of the hardest and most upsetting experiences, but I will say, it was kind of the same as getting an entire university education. Like, I learned so much, but still kind of devastating that it didn't work. So I don't know if you've had a franchise before, but if so, type franchise. I'd love to see if there's anyone else that have suffered like me. And so down the road, I gave up on that idea, and I'm like, okay, now what do? I thought, okay, maybe I just need something a little bit easier to start. So I joined an MLM. Now this would have been back in, 2014, something like that. And I stuck with it for at least 4 years. Like, I gave it the old college try, right? I really hung in there for 4 years. I did the little house parties that they told me to do, even though I hated leaving my house and being away from my kids. Like, that ain't my vibe, but I did it because I was told to. And I would follow up with like 361 people, just like they suggested, over and over. I did everything that they told me to do. And after 4 years, I actually ended up spending more money than I made. It was exhausting, right? I don't know if you can relate to this, but it was exhausting. It was frustrating. It even started to take a toll on my relationship as well. And looking back, it had nothing to do with effort. Oh yeah, I put in more effort than I can even care to admit. I tried really, really hard. The problem was that I had chosen a business that didn't fit my life, and it was actually, I guess they weren't really set up to work the way I needed them to work. And in the case of MLMs specifically, a lot of them are structured so that people at the top, they make the majority of the money, right? And everyone else is kind of left to chase whatever left over. So yeah, I'm not a fan of MLMs. I know lots of people have success in them. I tried, didn't work, big flop. So if you can relate to that story, type the word MLM in the comments. Let me know that I'm not the only sucker out there. If you've been thinking, why does this keep happening to me? Like, I keep starting businesses, they go nowhere. You know, like, if you're thinking that, I'm about to break it down for you right now. And really quickly, before I jump into this, if this is already resonating with you, like I said at the beginning, please give this video a like. That simple click, it really helps reach more women out there who might be in the same position as you right now. First thing we're going to talk about, I want you to be honest with me about something. Have you ever chosen a business because it looks so easy to start, or because it had a very, very low startup cost? So you saw easy, you saw low startup cost, you're like, sign me up. I just want to kind of gauge where you're at. So type the word low if you've started up a business before because it looked really easy to start or it had a very low startup cost. Because here's what I see happening right now. There are so many business ideas being promoted online. I'm sure you've seen them. If you are following me, it's probably because you are in the market of looking for a business. So I'm sure once I read off my list here, you're going to be like, yep, seen that. Things like starting an Etsy shop. Those are pretty cool, by the way. Selling on Shopify, maybe trying drop shipping, creating digital products or those printables. Affiliate marketing is another one. I'm trying to think, there's Amazon storefronts, faceless Instagram, those TikTok theme pages. There's even one called UGC, content creation. I remember I Googled it and I don't remember what it means. I saw that one. Selling templates or Canva designs, that's a big one too. Joining programs like Boss Suite, you know, anything that promises you that you can make money from your phone. All these sounding familiar, right? You've seen them all. I'm sure you have. I'm not the only one. And listen, I'm not saying that these are bad. Absolutely not. I'm just saying that they're often chosen for one main reason. They're chosen because they feel easy to start and they have low risk and low startup costs. That's why. And I get it because it feels like a very safe decision rather than investing into, like, I don't want to call those not real businesses, but the moving box business is a real business, right? Like, it's a legitimate business that you run, not just a small little side hustle. But I do get the appeal because it feels easier, it feels safer. But here's what tends to happen, and this is the part I really, really want you to listen to. When something is easy for you to start, guess what, guys? It's also easier for everyone else to start, right? I know it's an obvious point to make, but I'll say it one more time. When something for you seems easy to start and it's appealing because it looks easy, guess what? Everyone else sees it the exact same way. And so what that means is that you are now entering a space that's already a little bit crowded, right? That's like shoulder to shoulder in there. So instead of building something that is steady, you're trying to stand out in a sea full of people doing the exact same thing as you. And that is, I guess, what that usually turns into is constantly posting on social media, trying to keep up with all the trends, watching other people look successful while you're wondering, what am I doing wrong, right? So you might even start to make a couple of sales, you know, they're probably on the lower end here and there, but it's inconsistent. It's nowhere near what you expected. And after a while, it starts to feel like a lot of effort for a very, very little return. And that's when you start to think, I'm doing everything they told me. Why isn't this working? Right? Just like me back in the franchise, you have to do what they tell you. You have to charge the prices that they say. You have to make the recipes the way they say. So if I'm doing everything right, why am I not making more money? And with MLMs, same sort of setup. They're telling you what to sell, how much to price them at. You know, all the marketing stuff is kind of given to you. So you're doing everything that they're telling you, but it's just not panning out. So this is what I really want you to hear. It's not that you chose something bad. It's that you chose something that's easy to start, but hard to grow. So I have 3 points, right? Now we're going to move to point number 2. So do you ever feel like when you're starting a business, you start strong, full steam ahead, but then things kind of start to fizzle out. If this sounds like something that you've experienced, type fizzle in the chat. And here's another big reason why things might not have worked for you. It's not that you didn't try hard enough. It's that you maybe didn't have a clear step-by-step plan to follow. So what ends up happening when you don't have a clear path to take when you're starting something new, you're very, very excited, but then very quickly, you're just winging everything. You're watching like countless YouTube videos. You're Googling here, left, right, and center. You're on ChatGPT. You're trying different strategies. You're switching things up just to see what sticks, what's going to work. Type winging it if this has been you, if you've been a little bit of a wing it girl. And sure, there are lots of people who can stick with something with this winging strategy for years, right? Some might actually figure it out. But let's be honest, most people don't, because when you're putting in that level of effort and you're not seeing the results, it gets frustrating really fast. And that's when people start to, pull back a little bit. They lose that momentum and they might even stop altogether. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they were never given a clear path. Like, okay, start here, do this. When you're done that, now do this, right? Instead, they were trying to piece everything together. Okay, I'm going to take, there's that random guy on YouTube. He said, do this. ChatGPT suggested this. Okay, I'm going to do that. And you're just trying to make sense like that. It's not a very clear plan. So that's it's a big red flag. And that's another reason why I feel that maybe some of your businesses that you've attempted in the past kind of flopped. And then the third piece is that most people don't realize this, that you don't, well, let me ask you this. Do you feel that you have to constantly be posting, promoting, or chasing people just to make a sale from your previous business? It's exhausting. Type the word hustle if that's been your experience. So some business models, they're just harder to make work. Not because you're doing anything wrong, it's because how they're set up. So a lot of these online businesses that I've seen, they rely heavily on attention. So you're told, post multiple times a day, show up on Facebook, show up on Instagram, do some fun TikToks, create a YouTube video, and don't forget to post 5 stories a day. Oh my God, it's exhausting. Staying visible constantly, because the moment that you stop being visible, everything kind of comes to a halt. It just stops. And on top of that, a lot of them have very low profit margins. So even when you do make a sale, okay, it's exciting, you got a sale, but it's probably not going to be a lot, which means in order to make the kind of income you're hoping for, you got to do it over and over and over and get 50 customers in order to make it worthwhile. So that means more content for you to create and more effort to put in. And that's when it starts to feel like you're always working, right? You're always thinking about it. Like you go to sleep and you're like, you can't sleep because you're just trying to think about what other things I could post on social media tomorrow. Always hustling to make that next sale. And it doesn't feel very good, right? There's more to life than just posting on social media and hustling. We've got kids. Some of us have kids. Some of us have relationships. Some of us have parents to look after. A lot of us have full-time jobs on the side as well. There's a lot going on, right? And so if your brain is just tied up in this business that's it just seems like you're just working constantly, it's draining. And for most women, especially if you have a family, it's just not sustainable long-term, right? It's exhausting. Go and DM everybody on your friends list and, go tell them, hey, I started this new business. Are you interested? Did you want to buy it? And did you want to host a party? And it's exhausting. And then I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but I know for me, for instance, after I stopped my MLM, I might have started another business, and I feel like I'm going back to all those same people. Hey, guess what? I started another business. Did you want it? Did you want to see anyone? Your friends, they're supportive, I'm sure, but they don't want to be always sold to, right? It's not a nice feeling. So if you're sitting there thinking, you know what, this Carrie girl, she's describing my life 100%. I have experienced those things. Or maybe I haven't experienced those, but my partner has, or my daughter has, or my best friend has, or my mom has, right? Like, I'm sure most of us can relate to what I'm talking about, because there is a better way, my friends. What if instead of choosing something that's cheap and easy to start, instead you choose something that actually has demand? That is the key word today, demand. What if guessing what to do next, you had a clear step-by-step plan to follow, right? What if instead of constantly posting and constantly chasing sales, you had a business where one customer actually brings in somewhere between, somewhere between $100 an order up to maybe $750 an order. Doesn't that sound a little bit better than earning 20 bucks here, 15 bucks there, $10 there, $30 here? Wouldn't you rather be in the hundreds, right? So that's exactly why I chose and why I now teach moving box rental business, because it does solve all three of those problems. So instead of something with low demand, moving is something that everybody goes through. Guys, we all move. I don't know anyone that has never moved. Like, we all move, right? It's just a fact of life. And most of us move multiple times throughout our life, not on purpose. It's just the way things go. But it's something that everyone can relate to. It's, you can literally advertise to everybody in your community. Everyone, because if they're not actively moving, they probably have a cousin that's moving. They might have a friend or a coworker or someone at church that mentioned that their house is up for sale, right? It's something that you can literally talk to everybody about, versus when I was doing that MLM, it was like I was selling lipstick, and skincare. And so right away, that cut out 50% of the population, because dudes aren't really into skincare. Some of them are. We had a men's line, but most of them were not. So I've already cut 50% of the population. And with skincare and lipstick and stuff like that and makeup, most of us are pretty set in our ways with our brands. We don't want to, venture off. This was really difficult to sell, and it was a very expensive product too. Whereas this is super affordable for people. It's basically the same cost as buying new cardboard boxes, right? So it's something that people can relate to. It's something people can afford. And it's a business model that's very easy to start, has very low startup costs, and it's designed to scale with real potential to grow. And instead of constantly chasing those small little sales, every customer is worth more. So, you no longer are making $10 a customer times 50 customers. Instead, you're looking for like 5 customers a month, and you're making a heck of a lot more money than that. It's just common sense to me. And that's exactly why I love this business model, because it's the exact opposite to everything that we just talked about, right? So no more chasing those low dollar sales. No more feeling like you have to be online or on all the time, and no more guessing about what to do next. If you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, this really makes a lot of sense, then what I want you to do is go check out the description below. There's both a Canadian link and an American link, so make sure you choose the right one. I've actually put together a free 3-part video series for you, where I walk you through exactly how this business works, what it costs to get started, as well as the profit potential. And the last one is how to get started with my help. So just so you know, my program is specifically for women. So you will be alongside other women who are in a very similar stage of life as you. And also I'll mention that if you want more support and interaction, make sure to join my Facebook group. The link is also in the description below. That's where I go live every week and answer questions just like this. So if you've enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, I'd love for you to love this video. Even hit subscribe, because I do post every single week. So thank you so much.